Hello, my friends. This is Peter Palmiotti of You and Odd Studio. And wait, this isn't retro. Um, so this is one of the other books I'm working on. Originally called Chosen Few. It's now designated. Um, created and written by Mark Torres, and it's penciled by a one-time comic book penciler, Jay Smith. And I'm inking it. So it's going to be digitally released, I believe, as a 5-issue mini-series, but then it will be printed and published as a graphic novel. So that's a different way of approaching release. And yeah, I'm working on issue 1. This is a double-faced spread. I've only touched the left. There's some stuff on the right, but mostly working on the left side. And let me get page I'll be working on today. Retro before I get into conversation. Let's see. Should I do? Yeah, let me do a little line work. Got a bunch of background detail and whatnot here. So yeah, if you've seen the cover of this episode, then you know it's a comic book challenge I created. Well, it's not a lot to it. It's more the purpose behind it. But I've been working on Retro Issue 1 a long time, and this is, for those of you keeping track, page 19, issue 1. And eventually, I'd love to get to a point where doing this bi-monthly. It's going to take me a lot to get to that point, but that's the dream first is to just get an issue out there. But the follow-up dream is I want a much tighter schedule. So yeah, I'm going to be changing the cover, and it will say what the challenge is all about. But yeah, I've been, it's a character I created back in my late teens. I've been sort of brainstorming throughout the years what I could do with the character, what is the story behind the character. He's a metahuman. He's faster, stronger, heals faster. That sort of jazz. It's pretty straightforward. Almost like, he's kind of ish Captain America or Super Soldier, but it's of a mutant power. Hey, let me see if I can do a little more of that. So you might see what I'm working on. And yeah, I've been conceiving of storylines and other characters that will be showing up, and it wasn't until maybe around late 2008, definitely 2009, I was like, okay, I want to actually, get this going, and not too confident in my pencils at that point. Let me get an honest penciler Um, and I'll ink the book, and I'll, get a letterer and a colorist and so on and so forth. Um, and I did a Kickstarter for initial funding, but I thought, you know, things were going pretty good. My schedule was pretty wide open. Um, I thought I would have a lot more time to work on my own project, and that wasn't the case. It bought me a little time, the initial funding, but that didn't last all that long. I had some challenges along the way. Uh, One specifically with the chorus I got, who does amazing work, and maybe I'll use him for a different project. But it didn't click. Wasn't turning out pages to me quick enough, and I see I see him working on other so many other books, and it's kind of frustrating. um, that it didn't pan out for us on retro. Um, that's neither here nor there. Uh, a pandemic happened, and that definitely affected my ability to churn out pages. I've been taking on paying work, keep my head afloat, and that slows down progress on my book. What is that? I don't know. All right, you can probably see there's this little swirly object. Not even sure. Is that? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. All right, so that's on black, and we'll just do a little. So yeah, yeah, I got Kitty in the bedroom. I mean, in the bathroom, so she doesn't get in my face. Um, so like there's reasons, but they all seem like excuses, and they kind of are. I mean, you know, I get this argument. I've heard this argument a number of times, and it's something I wanted to address. That, hey, you're Peter Palmiotti. You work for Marvel and DC, and had books published by bigger companies out there. What's the deal? Why can't you? You've been professional. Why aren't you being professional now? Because just because I could drive a car doesn't make me automatically a great mechanic. And so I've inked professionally for companies. Um, why can't I just ink my way out of the situation? you know, well, things don't work that way. It's like I'm taking on everything and not just inking. Sure, for me, inking is the easiest part of this endeavor, but I don't have all the time in the world. I I set up this new series, Making Comics and Art, so I could specifically, at least initially, um, start making real progress on retro by focusing most of this series exclusively on just that, streaming and inking retro. And I've made it from what, page 5 to page 19. That's pretty incredible. And it's only taken me 100 plus episodes to do that. But there's all the work involved in getting a team and um, getting an artist and working with the artist, and working with other people and doing, like I did the initial Kickstarter 5 days, doing that. Nobody else is doing the work. It's just me. And it's a lot, as well as inking other books. I got other projects. I got commission work. I got, sometimes I work, not a day job, but odd jobs here and there. Currently working at a pet sanctuary, well, cat sanctuary, helping out there. And that, that's money I don't have coming in from elsewhere. One of the things I do have is my Patreon, and that's anybody could support me there. And that definitely helps out. But I gotta have money coming in as I work on my passion project. And the smart thing to do would be to get a day job, because actually it saves a lot of hassle. But I chose to do it this way, and because of everything, it's taken me a lot longer than I wanted to. So here I am, still plugging away, and if all I did was the same thing, and it's going to be kind of that. I'm going to be pretty much doing the same thing going forward. But I made myself a comic book challenge where I'm going to be focusing on retro, as in getting it done. So arbitrarily picked a number, and that is 300 hours. And that's my sort of deadline. Now, whether this works out or not, we shall see. But it is my intention to get this book totally finished. It's inked, and then I got to do the coloring. I got a letterer. I got someone to help me with production. And I'm going to try to do it with a 300-hour period. Now it's hard to keep track of hours as opposed to days. But I'll be counting the, whatever hours and minutes each stream I do from this point on adds up to be. And so it'll be like a countdown. And I'll be doing occasionally special Patreon streams for more behind the scenes stuff of my comic book process. But I'm going to make that only if you're pledging $5 or more will you be seeing any of that. There'll be stuff for anybody who pledges $1. But as far as like more the inside baseball stuff on retro, It would be $5 and up. And this will, allow me to really keep in mind that an end date of sorts is imminent, and for me to really get my ass in gear. Um, and yeah, it's like, I want to be totally professional and deliver on what I said, and I realize like I'm making a lot of mistakes along the way. Uh, and nobody's perfect, and it's not like you just decide, okay, I want to do a business, and you're perfect in everything from the get go. Um, I'm learning a lot, the ins and outs of crowdfunding, and really pulling together a team, and the nuts and bolts of making comics. And I definitely want retro to be of a certain quality. Um, but at this point in time, like, because I get a good rhythm going with the inking now. Um, I'm thinking about what I'm working on right now. Okay, I'll be with you in a second. Lots of garbage on the floor over here. I love backgrounds. I love inking backgrounds, and I suspect I'll love making them. Anything that adds to the environment of where retro is living becomes part of his world. All right. Yeah, I really want to work hard and make sure I'm not just going to allow myself to take forever more on this project. Uh, yeah, and I do want to get better. Like, I do plan to give myself only a year window to get issue 2 out. And if that goes as planned, then I'll see if I can cut that down, and so on and so on. So I could work towards being a bi-monthly. So yeah, 300 hours, which, like, if I only do an hour a day, that's 300 days. It's almost like a year. But I'm gonna not do that. I'm thinking fall release. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It is now July 10th. So it's going to get more and more critical. Now, one of the advantages I got going on right now is, yes, I'm working at the cat sanctuary, so that brings in some money. Doesn't make me rich. If you want the honest truth, it's like I do have outstanding bills right now. Um, but so that helps out. My Patreon helps out. Um, Commissions, a little bit here, a little bit there. Sell some artwork, a little bit here, a little bit there. Um, but now, this month, I just got a new job the other day, inking a comic, and it seems like that's going to be starting soon. So that would bring me more money. I'll be working on Philip Ressett's tragedy backup story for issue 2 to whatever it works out to, maybe 3 or 4 issues. And that will bring me money. And so by the end of this month, I should be a lot more fluid, have money in the bank. We shall see. I do want to put money towards making making products for retro. Not only because I'll be delivering a bunch of different things for those that already pledged to my Kickstarter, but I'll be delivering things for, when I am done and got the printed comic into those people's hands. I'm going to be doing an Indiegogo, and maybe offering even more merchandise, different things. There's so much I want to do. The focus is always the comic. But I believe in sort of Peter Simeti's mentality of, in order to grow a company, that it is about like having the little extras and merchandise that will help it grow faster. And, it's all about money in, money out. And that's got to flow a lot better than, frankly, my freelance life has been going. And it's, this is something I'm doing for myself, but it could work for you. I know plenty of people struggling to have a life, have a means of income, and work on their own personal project. It's tough. It's I could be professional when it comes to my inking. I want to equal that across my other skills and responsibilities. And this is a responsibility of me getting my book out there and delivering on that. All right. I have a freaking huge desk. It's an office desk, and I've worked on artboards. I've worked at angles, and I'm just most comfortable working on a flat surface. Everybody's different. Well, not everybody. Lots of people like working on traditional art tables. I think it's more a rare case that people are like me, excel at working on a flat surface. I know some people even. God damn it. Just got bit by an ant in my neck. What the hell? Summertime, when all the critters come out. And I went out yesterday, freaking getting bit up like within 2 seconds. Hey, Ictus, welcome, sir. What is up, Total Excellence? Good morning, Peter. How's Retro coming along? Retro is coming along pretty good. Page 19. The purpose to this stream is that I'm sort of making my own comic book challenge out of finishing my book because I'm tired of just dragging on it, and I want to get it out this year. So it's going to be 300 hours of work. So, majority of progress I've made on retro has been within these streams. And for the most part, that's the time I can allow it to be. Although, I'm going to start doing the sort of production and what I'm going to have in the issue and all the design work of various merch. Everything outside of the inking at this stage, I'm going to be including into my days, so that when the inking is done and then I get into the coloring, um, I'll be a lot further along, and then, I might wind up coloring being the last part of what I do. And for those that don't know, Ichthus is a colorist. I might have to call on my colorist friends, because I'm not, I've had some experience, but still need to learn a lot more. But Ichthus says, "What the heck, Ant? True that." And he says, "Ooh, that looks awesome. Yeah. Another fun page." And more with this criminal from the previous page. It's gonna be fun. It's like, I hope people think the whole book is fun once I get it all together or not. So yeah, I'll be counting down not only the streams and other work that will be going into this issue that I'll do off camera. So every new episode, I'll have where I'm at, hours wise. So I'm starting at 300. I've already put 28 minutes into it. Only 299 and a half, a little more than a half, 40 minutes. So I'll be doing the big countdown so I can get this Jammy Jam book out. Let's see. Trying to grab the big lines here. I'll do the finer detail later. But yeah, I got a busy day ahead of me. There's a lot of business popping up lately. Just if anybody knows, like, talking with new people is always time consuming, but totally worth it. And I always like working with new people. So yeah, I'll be working on inks for a new book. Style, I would say, like, the artist style is, maybe not nearly as proficient as Adam Muse, but I've seen a little of this guy's work, and I won't announce his name or project until he says it's cool. Other than saying, I'm going to be doing a thing. But yeah, it is sort of realism, but sort of simplicity to his work, and I'll be working with him as I ink page by page, and we'll figure out together like where our styles mesh best. And I always say it takes me a couple of issues to really nail down um, the sort of how how do I enhance the work, and how best can it be presented. And Ictus says, how many pages for Retro? Is it going to be standard 24-page comic or a graphic novel? Retro is an ongoing series. Issue 1 will be longer than the regular run length, but I'm going with 28 pages for my superhero first issues, because eventually there'll be more than just Retro. There'll be a small gathering of heroes. But yeah, 28-page story. And because the Kickstarter did really well for only 5 days, I decided to go with a 40-page book. So there'll be a lot of extras in the back of each book. And for the regular issues, 2 on, I'm going to be doing 25 pages. I haven't really been keeping track, but both Marvel and DC used to be standard 22 pages. Now I think they're more 20-page stories. And being just a small indie guy, I wanted to give more. More because I think it works better, to tell a decent story with 25 pages rather than 20. I can't wait until you announce the project. Cool, man. Yeah, it's my first time meeting him, and it's just a small independent guy doing his own book. And I think the situation was that he inked himself and wasn't happy, and looked for an inker, and my art rep Philip Ressert stepped in and recommended me, and the guy liked my work, and we at this point in time we've only spoken a little bit, in chat, but he seems like a good kid, and I like his work, and I think I can be effective, like adding my own Jimmy Jazz with my inks over his pencils. So I don't know too much about his project. um, so far I've only seen visuals on a couple of pages. But that's I've been doing this long enough. That's all it takes for me to get a grasp of what I think I can do. And I got a message. I wonder if it's important. I've been getting messages and notifications all morning long. And let me just check really quick if it's anything urgent. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. More good news. That I can't talk about. So yeah, it's like I really I really screwed the pooch as far as like starting my own comic and jumping into kickstarting and just not delivering um, right away or within a reasonable amount of time. It's like I am far beyond the point of when I wanted to deliver. Um, but the thing is to learn from your mistakes, and I want to show people that I can turn out a quality project, and hopefully the biggest mistake is me delivering late and nothing else. Um, and that I'll be able to learn from this and deliver future issues of retro as well as other products on a tighter schedule. The once I have this book and maybe a few others under my belt and available to all, that I'll be able to make money off of that alone, and I won't have to take on as much work. It's all about being self-sufficient. And that I won't have to bust my ass looking for work as much. I mean, I got Philip for that now. um, I wanted to mention earlier, like an hour before I went live, the weather, it was really nice out this morning, and the sun was out, and I thought it was going to be another beautiful day. It's really like it's crazy. It's record highs across the United States weather-wise. And I forget if it was Arizona or Utah, one of them. They had like their highest temperature day since like 1913 or some crazy thing, and their temperature for the day was 134. And I can't even imagine what the hell that is like. The highest temperature I ever been in was when I visited my oldest brother and his wife years ago, when they were living in Vegas. All my brothers, I have three. Most people only know Jimmy, but they're all living in Florida now. But when I was visiting my brother and his wife in Vegas, I think it was 110, 115. But in Vegas, they got no humidity. I don't know if that's a guarantee every day, but when I was there, that's kind of the temperature it was at, give or take. And I personally loved it, but if you're inside a building where it's AC and you step outside, it's like getting smacked in in the face. It was crazy. Oh, I did want to mention. I put in the chat section a link to what I'm doing Friday coming up. So July 16th at 7 p.m. Another Pimp Your Comic episode where I allow people to come on the stream, talk about their project, link out their crowdfunder, or if it's available, whatever website, their website, another website, uh, however people can get it, but talk about their project, pitch it to people, and help get the word out on other people's projects. I'm all about, what I can do for others that are smaller than me, or equal size or even bigger or whatever. It's like every little bit helps us get the word out to our projects. And so I've done it a couple of times. I mean, officially I've done it a couple of times, but essentially I've been helping people promote their books for years and years. And but this is my little Pimp Your Comic is a very specific show in which I do that. And it's something I used to do on Facebook, and occasionally I still do. And it worked great there, and I wanted to find the sort of YouTube equivalent of that. And so, essentially, random creator, writer, artist, whatever, comes on for a little bit, and I don't have a clock to it, but however long each interval takes to talk about their project, and we go to whatever site the project's on, if it's currently crowdfunding or whatever. It's a good time by all. There's people in the chat usually. That's always a random factor, but really, really have a good time talking to a lot of new creators. And I do have a list of people that are coming on. A couple of creators you may never have heard of, some you might have, and definitely one I think more people in my circle have definitely heard of, which is Justin Gray, the former, writing partner with my brother Jimmy Vine. Has done plenty of work on his own. Currently has a survival horror Kickstarter going, and we'll be talking all about that tomorrow. That will be at 12 p.m. So lunchtime in the Eastern time zone, because he's the East Coast and I'm East Coast. And I don't know, maybe this might be the first time I've spoken to Justin publicly, and it might be our longest conversation we have ever had. For all the time I've known Justin, I probably only said hello most of the time. But always a fan of him, and always a fan of his work. Yeah, he's working with a lot of different artists on different projects. I was surprised to see that the newest Kickstarter he's got going on is Kickstarter 15 for himself. So here's a guy who's done it, knows how to do it, knows what not to do, and has delivered over and over again. So I hope that his professionalism leaks off on myself, as I do with every guest I have. It's like everybody has their set skills, what they're good at. And everybody can help everybody else. Let's see what's going on over here. I'm jumping all over the place with this page, and where I'm throwing down lines and whatnot. Uh, Kind of the nature of how I work. When I get more critical, like, hey, I gotta finish a panel, like I'm not making enough progress, I'll just work on one of the panels until it's done. It's funny. I used to work very very top down, left to right. So I would start at the first panel, get that completely done, and so on and so forth. Sometimes I would start at the bottom of the page and work my way up. There's no better way, but it is good to like just focus on one panel at a time. But um, more when you're getting nitty gritty with the details that's on a panel and stuff. I'm mostly trying to get in some broad strokes here and some straight line work. Huh. I wonder if that's. Oh, it's funny. One of the things I wanted to do, and I guess this will only be revealed to those listening now, but um, is my oldest friend is this guy Dennis, and I credited him. I forget how, but as a sort of a person who I thank for my support, for their support on everything I do, or something to that extent. And yeah, so Dennis is he's not an online personality. He's just a guy with a day job and wife, and we used to work together. He was at my boss at one point. Um, but we stayed friends throughout the years, and you know, visited him plenty of times, and we hung out plenty of times. Um, Not as much as in recent years, but I will get out to where he lives maybe over the next year. But that's all to say that I wanted to sneak something in this issue that would be a little nod to him, as well as like me and him were big video gamers back in 80s, 90s. Um, I'm not so much a gamer now. It's like I play solitaire or random free online game every once in a while just to power down. But yeah, so we at one point we thought about doing our own video game, and I was thinking of putting the title as some graffiti on one of the pages, and that is still my intention. And I'm looking at this page and thinking I could probably do it. I could probably do it in this panel, like maybe on the wall over here or something. Um, and that would be solely for his benefit, but I would enjoy it being there as well. But so we had a goofy idea for a video game. All I remember is the name we came up with. So that's pretty much what I would include as like graffiti within one of the panels, and hopefully whatever lettering I got going on doesn't cover it, because that would defeat the purpose. But the name the name of the video game was Die Dummy Die. And back in the early days of video games, the it was mostly shoot 'em ups. Sure, you had Pong. Sure, you had. Yeah, it was mostly video. It was mostly shoot 'em ups of some sort or another. Aliens, a missile command on Earth, tanks. Yeah, all sorts of crazy, crazy games. Um, but yeah, I'll sneak it. I'll sneak the title of our never made video game into one of the panels. And it would be a hoot for myself. It would be a hoot for him. And he's been my biggest fan outside my family. Um, so definitely worthwhile. So we're at the 50-minute mark. I am thinking that I'll just go an hour today. I got some stuff to run around a bit. Um, maybe talking with one of my fellow artists I know. We're thinking of doing a weekly chat. Me and this girl. I'll see what kind of progress she'll tell me, what she's working on and what she wants to get done and that sort of thing. And I'll do the same with her about what I'm trying to focus on and get done, and we'll help each other. I want to set up my Discord. You know, I did set one up initially, had some people on it. Wasn't really happy with, it was kind of basic, and I do want it to be basic, but um, now I erased what the other one was and sort of I'm gonna redesign it, refocus it, and I want to get some people on it to where we could throw stuff there and sort of meet up when we can, and it's all about making sure we making the progress we say we want to. It'd be good. The point of me taking on these new comic projects and having more money come in allows me not only to put money to things I need and want to grow my studio with, but it buys me time to work on things I want to work on. One of them is a Discord. One of them is a newsletter. Um, so I can have a email list as well. And I have an extra. I'm going to give people that sign up to my newsletter mailing list. And I got to work on that as well. It started. I even, it's like some artwork that won't be used otherwise. That I got colored, and I'm gonna write script for it. But more details on that when I actually have it. Um, but yeah, the sky opened up earlier and rain came down in buckets. It has since maybe stopped completely, or at least I don't hear it currently. Um, but I'm glad it didn't disrupt my internet. Uh, Sometimes weather will have a huge effect on the quality of the internet, as well as having internet at all. So it seems to have passed over and everything is okay. So what other news? Um, yeah, so if you haven't already liked this video, please give it a like. Always love people that show up in the chat, but also love comments on my page, below the videos. If you don't know all my links, or want to find me outside of YouTube, I have a whole ton of links below. I also have a link tree. I gotta really update everything, which is usually the case. You gotta periodically update stuff and whatnot. But there's a bunch of links on the link tree too. Um, yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to pass 1,000 subscribers so I can be part of the YouTube partnership program again. When they change the rules, they drop me out. um, and yeah, become a patron if you're not already. Occasionally, I throw new stuff there people haven't seen. And I want to do more of that. Getting these new inking gigs definitely put me in better shape. And I'm still open for more. If you want to commission me, want to have me ink your comic, pin up, what have you, then by all means. I had on Todd Rayner not too long ago for his book Ice Pick. I'll be inking a piece over him that I believe he's going to have as a thing to the people that supported him on issue 4 of Ice Pick. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'll show you that off uh, when I am given permission, or when I actually have the piece to work on. Um, but yeah, that's it for me today. I got a ton of other work to do. It is the weekend, and I like to set aside the weekend for chores and whatnot. But things have been crazy with all my cats going on and all that. If you're interested, go watch the previous stream. It's all about cat talk. But I got 4 cats, and that's the limit right now. And at least until after I move, and if I get a much bigger place, then it's a different story. But uh, the little cat, the kitten, is a ball of freaking energy, and I'm trying to figure out what to do there. So if you had some advice, let me know. But love you all. Hope you're working on your passion project. And yeah, this is counting down. So it's 299 hours to go.